Like, share, comment, and subscribe. To all the returning friends and family, you already know it's peace and blessings. Got some time to tune in. Apologies for the pushback. Apologies for the pushback, y'all, but we here. Just want to cover a few little things. We're gonna be on too crazy. Popcorn, what's going on, my guy? First things first, hopefully everybody having a blessed and productive Tuesday. Taco Tuesday, Taco Tuesday. Hopefully everybody's day. For those who might be out and about in this weather right now, especially out in the city, please make sure you're keeping yourself hydrated at all costs. Yeah, it's definitely a hot one today. But yeah, hopefully you're getting through your mornings smoothly. And whatever plans you might have for the weekend, hopefully keep yourselves motivated. Keep doing what you need to do. Appreciate everybody that tuned in for the previous conversation. Definitely one that was well needed, as always. You know, you gotta keep that message constantly and consistently going. Got a few things to talk about. You know, just a few little things. I do want to ask some serious questions because, like I said, you know, at what point are we gonna, you know, really start looking at things from a different perspective? Because again, it's ridiculous out here, man. For those that missed it, y'all can definitely catch the replay. And as you might hear all the water in the background, y'all already know what time it is. It's that damn hot today. So again, for those in the city, make sure y'all keeping yourselves hydrated. If you got to be in cool areas or you got to be somewhere in the shade, make sure you're doing that as well. It's definitely a hot one. Yesterday was hot, but I think it's a little bit hotter today. So. But yeah, you know, hold on one second. Okay, I done messed up. Give me 1 second, y'all. 1 second. Yeah, you already know what time it is. Again, hopefully y'all enjoying yourselves. Hopefully you are enjoying yourselves, keeping yourself under wraps. Like I said, definitely gotta have a little talk, y'all. Just a little talk. First things first, I want to ask some of the ladies out there, how would you feel? Well, let me ask both the ladies and the gentlemen. Let me get this correct. Let me ask you a serious question though. How would you, if another grown-up is giving your child drugs, giving your child the simplest things that they shouldn't even be taking in the first place, how would y'all feel behind that? Serious, baby. Taco Tuesday, Taco Tuesday. But yeah, another good day. Well, at least until last night. Because again, I want to ask that serious question. How would you feel if somebody older or even as old as you was giving your child drugs? How would you take that? What would you, what would your overall outcome be in that scenario right there? Because to be quite honest, we already know, not supposed to be enticing these young ones. And I mean young, I mean 10 and 11. Because to be quite honest, that's what they would consider endangering the welfare of a child. Because there should be no reason you're sitting here. I mean, seriously, no way you could tell me you could sit here and think to be amongst kids when you're supposed to be guiding them. Instead, you smoking with them, you doing certain drugs with them. What's going on? It's crazy. Angela, baby. Who else popped in here? Tom, what's going on, my guy? What's going on, man? Appreciate y'all for tuning in. It's just a serious question. How would you feel if you find out, you know, if you find out that your kids are being influenced in the wrong manner? How would you take that? You know, it's a question to ask because, again, it's needed right now. And as you see, we out here. We are definitely out here. Got time to ask that question. I hear you serious because, you know, it's crazy. You know, it really is because it's like, how do you think to say, instead of, you know, let me take you home or let me, you know, get you back to safety, especially you around me, you decide you want to feed them drugs. Like, what kind of shit is that? I mean, you got to look at it. At some point, some of y'all going to have to come to a better conclusion because it's not working. And you want to know why it's not working? Yeah, again, because you're not working together. It don't make no sense. There's no way you can tell me you would feel comfortable as an adult giving these young ones, and I mean actual young ones, anything they ain't supposed to be having. There's some of y'all that think it's cool to try to be drinking with these young ones as well too. That shit ain't a good look right there. Even if it ain't your child, you supposed to be trying to set the bar and the example. And the bar and the example should be, you know what, let me not, nah, you're not gonna be around me doing this. It was a different rapport back in the day, you know. King, what's going on? What's going on? Now, I know you would be serious. Trust me, I know you would be. You know, it's just crazy, man. It's crazy that this is what we coming to, for real. You know, it's like, and when I say me, I mean we, I mean the world. Like, the world around us is really just collapsing. At least the morality part of that. Because again, how could you even think to look yourself in the eye as a quote-unquote adult and you just did something you wasn't necessarily supposed to do? It makes no sense, for real. Why encourage them to do the wrong things when you could be encouraging them to do the right thing? But I think I'm starting to answer my own questions to a degree. Because for some of what I've seen, hey, you really don't grow up at all. At least not mentally. Some people don't, you know. And that's the sad part about it. You know, you would want them to at least have that form of common sense, you know. If it wasn't being done to you, why would you do it to the next generation, you know? Colton, what's going on, my guy? I see you up in here, man. See you up in here. You know, we gotta read that part. You know, we are supposed to set the blueprint. I respect those who actually stick to the boundaries and set the boundaries the way it was supposed to be set. You know, it is important, you know, because again, why would you think, especially on a late night, I don't care. Why would you sit back and do something like that? You know, how do you not have a conscience? Shug, what's going on? What's going on, man? You know, that's what I'm saying. It's things you gotta ask yourself for real. Like, how do you sit here and you know, now prime example, what happens if you would have got ran down on the wrong type of way? You know, let's say if police was around, or let's say if anything was around that could have put you and put them in present danger. Now you stuck. You're gonna definitely eat that. I think that's, something to really think about, y'all. And that is the question for both men and women, parents, whatever, guardians, people who might be watching different family members. What question? How would you feel if another grown-up was doing something with your kids that they ain't supposed to be doing? You keep certain things under wraps. You got to place boundaries and put restrictions on certain things. See, the problem I'm seeing again now is some people just want to be friends with the kids. It's not a thing you really should be doing. You still have to always place, guidelines somewhere. This is why some of them are not really respecting some of the older folks now. Then again, you got those who are doing what's needed and still getting disrespected. You wanna know why? Because we're not coming together the way we're supposed to come together. As far as setting that example, no child should be, getting disrespectful or out of pocket, especially with an adult. Doesn't matter. Like, we all know that. Let us would have said something crazy out of our mouths towards adults back in the days to see what would have happened to us. It wouldn't that matter if they was family or not. We'd have got served a hot one, and you know that already. That's what I'm saying. We got to get back to some form of morality. And, another thing is throwing me off too. Because I just got a question I want to ask. And pardon me, y'all. I got a question I want to ask. Hey, explain to me how you could be leaving certain areas and you don't think to say, let me see if I say this the right way. How do you leave certain areas? Prime example, places like beaches. You got kids with you. How do you think to do certain things when you are either coming to or leaving from? Listen to what I'm saying in totality. Prime example, if you know bathhouses might be closing at a certain time, you would want to try to at least get some form of change just to be on the safe side. Why put yourself in certain positions where you could possibly still get in trouble? Because again, you're doing something you're not really supposed to be doing. If you couldn't change, or if you couldn't change your children, even if you felt you was going to do whatever, be discreet. Don't sit here and put yourself in a complete public of people when it's still coming up and down as far as the traffic is concerned. Like, you putting yourself at risk to try to cover up or cover somebody else up so they can change. Come on now. You gotta have a little bit more self-class and dignity, man. Chill, real baby. That's what I'm saying. Like, it's just common sense. If even if you are going to be out past certain times, get yourself together. But why try to change yourself in the streets? Changing your children in the streets. Like, there's ways to do things without making it so public. I'm sorry to say it that way. And some people really just don't want to be around that bullshit. You just got to think about your overall self because of the dangers out here. Let's keep it real. And you know this. Fucking ridiculous, man. Like, it's some things you just say, you know what? Let me use my common sense and logic, and don't put myself in a precarious position. And you got to think about it too. Prime example. We got situations where we got people who are not playing with a full deck, that are out and about. That's a danger. You don't know who's lying around, what creeps are lying around. This is have some more, again, class and dignity, right? And that's on both ends. It's just, there was a different situation back in the day because there was things we just never brought to the light. You would never knew what happened unless we talked about it. And we barely used to talk about that. So, it's about keeping certain codes and traditions in check. I'm sorry, but it is. There's no way you can tell me this is the way it's supposed to be now. I call it like I see it, for real. You know, you could have put yourself and your child in danger. You don't know what kind of stuff is going on out here, man. And as far as the situation with you feeding these kids, man, listen, you feeding these kids liquor and alcohol well before their time. And some of y'all will wonder why some of these kids don't grow up to be nothing or might be burnouts before time. And I'm just being real right now. That's not no form of anything but just true facts. Come on, it's common sense. How we expecting to a degree for some of them to really take shape and take hold into their real true destinies in life when we setting all the wrong examples that shouldn't be set in the first place? Yeah, my bad, y'all. I had to get some peacefulness out here, at least for a little bit. Like I said, I ain't gonna be too long. I am gonna sit here and have this little convo though. But, you know, it's something that really should be asked. And I would ask that all around the board, even the ones that catch this replay. How would you feel if your kid was being given shit that they wasn't supposed to be given, especially by an adult, maybe even a close friend? How would you react in that situation? That's all, you know? These are things you got to worry about now, because in the long run, again, you know, it's just craziness right there. You know, but I'm saying, nah, but you know, it's something that you really should think about. Putting your child in danger for what reason? You know. I know for some, y'all would definitely go by it the proper way, and the old school way on top of that. And it's real raps. Because it doesn't make no sense that you would sit here, instead of saying, nah, we're going to take you home, we're going to make sure y'all get home safe, it's late out here. Nah, you giving these kids all sorts of the wrong poisoning, instead of giving them the true facts and the true blueprints on things. It's crazy. I mean, at what point does it stop? The continuous cycle, the continuous, you know, destruction cycle. I mean, it's all right. You want to do what you want to do as an adult. That's you. But when it comes down to the generations behind us, again, you're supposed to set a little better example. Marlene, baby. Those that just tune in, make sure y'all hit that like button. But it's just a question to really ask. Explain to me how that's supposed to benefit anybody in the long run. Some of y'all want your children or want the people around you to be a little bit better. Want to know why? Because again, there's some of y'all that will sit here and entice them in some good things. But some of y'all that need to hear it, continue to do that. Even if you ain't going to be the most positive, supposed to give the most positive results and examples for the ones behind you, even your own. Nah, you ain't supposed to be out here doing this. You definitely ain't supposed to be out here, you know, putting yourself in danger. Matter of fact, where the hell are your parents? You know, come on now. Yeah, isn't it? Something that we really need to talk about. Because again, how would you feel? I mean, you know it's wrong. It's not about passing judgment or anything. I'm just coming at it, like I said, from a logical standpoint. Why would I, prime example, sit here and try to give your children something they ain't supposed to? Man, listen, you can't even be around me if you ain't in a certain age group. I'm coming from that era. Like, it meant what it meant. Kids stayed in the kids' place. Children stayed in children's places. It wasn't they in adults' faces, all around adult spaces. It wasn't none of that. It's crazy, huh? It's crazy how it done switched up. And again, think about that. God forbid what happens, you give somebody else's child the wrong drug. Now I'm speaking to those who need to hear. God forbid what happens, you give somebody's child the wrong drug and that be they downfall or that be they last day on earth. How would you feel? Would you be able to recover from that? If you think that it's easy to do so, I'm telling you this right now, it ain't. Because they'll live with you definitely, you know. Let's see, parents. Exactly, Marlene. You have some situations like that. Oh, well, because you with somebody, all right, cool, you know. Because you with somebody, oh, okay. Well, I'll be back later. No. Now, if you had to work, if that's the case, then no. You know, make sure you have your kids, you know, make sure you have your kids in a safe environment, basically. Make sure, you know, for the guardians as well, that's out there, make sure you got your kids in the right space, right safe zone, especially if you can't even do what you're trying to do. Parents is important for real, because you don't know what could happen. Like, prime example, your child can end up drowning. Let your child be that intoxicated and think they coming in one of these type of situations right here. You'll find out it ain't gonna be a safe one. It's not. Mess around, get caught in the rip current, mess around, get caught in some sinkholes, depending. And who knows where you can end up in this great ass area right here. I'm sorry to say it. It is a great area because we all need the salt water. But look how deep that sucker is. You don't want to be one of them victims of casualty floating back. Trust me. We done got enough of that. Just Jay, baby. I'm trying not to. But I will at some point, man. I will. See, like situations like this. If this was nighttime, you know it'd be a little bit more choppier. So guess what? You could take a risk at possibly drowning just because you too intoxicated. You too spaced out. You can't get it together. Come on now. There are people who have lost their lives, believe it or not. And this is not one way you want to go, especially because you want to be too lit. You want to get the people around you too lit. Oh, shoot, congratulations, Just Jay, baby. I'm going to have to catch that replay. I didn't even know you. Man. I got you, Just Jay. I got you. I got you. But yeah, you know, you just got to be real about yourself. Why would you put these children in that type of scenario, for real? Oh, shoot. Just Jay doing her first live. Oh, shit. My bad, y'all. Brief intermission. Oh, snap. Fine, just for that, I go a little deeper. Do a little toe chop. A little toe chop. You know, yeah. Little toe chop. You get a little bit of that. Come on, man. You get a little bit of that. Let's see how deep we gonna go today. Let's see how deep we gonna go today. Yes. Yes. Nah, but congratulations, though, sis. I gotta definitely catch the replay. Yeah, we in here. We in here. You get about right here. Prime example. And if there's anything wrong, guess what? You'll see it for yourself. I gotta definitely catch your replay, sis, but I'm glad that you did that, though. Yeah. You gotta ask that serious question, though. How would you feel if that's the situation right there? Would you act the way you're supposed to act? Or would you not give a damn? That's another question to ask. Because I don't see how you think that it's a smooth transition to say, I'm gonna give this little nigga or I'm gonna give this little nigga some alcohol, some weed, some pills, anything else. Come on now. Supposed to set the bar. Now again, you're an adult, you do what you want to do. You destroy your life if you feel you want to destroy your life. Don't destroy the lives of those that it really counts. Let them grow. Mitten mama baby. Appreciate y'all. Yeah. But that's something you gotta think about. You want to destroy your situation, cool. But don't do that to the ones who are trying to actually be something. Those who might have plans in life. Because again, you are damaging the mind. And you really are. You're psychologically destroying any form of hope, any form of reasonable thinking. Like I said, there should be no reason I'm hearing kids that are not even 10 and 11 talking about, yo, puff, puff, pass. What you mean? First things first, it's after 1 o'clock in the morning. Why are you still out here? Like, nobody's going to be the voice of reasoning? We really got the young ones at certain points looking out for themselves and nobody else is saying anything? That's crazy. Like I said, the things you encounter, especially when you at work, it's crazy. Should never be that way. Because again, we had a decency about our morals and codes back in the day. Again, you didn't know the adults was doing too much of anything unless they talked about it. Because they didn't let that be shown, especially amongst the ones we are supposed to be upbringing. We are supposed to be uplifting. I hear you. There's nothing wrong with that at all. Like I said, I'm gonna definitely check the replay though. I mean, that's what you gotta do sometimes, sis. Look, like I've been telling you, like I told anybody else, when it comes to trying to do content, you speak from the heart. You definitely speak from the spirit. You know, and you focus on what you need to focus on. Never let nothing else stop what you're trying to do. And if you're trying to make content on a different level, you do it. Like I said, it doesn't matter. It really don't matter at all. Whether you're doing cooking, inspirationals, whatever. But in the same token, you know, just be consistent. Stay on goal, stay focused. Things are, you know, definitely be in a better position for you. And you got what it takes. It's like a lot of y'all. You got a lot, you know, you do have what it takes. For some people, I think it's a little too late. So, you know. You already know, appreciate you, man. Mama, baby. Who else? Who else is up in here? I'm trying to catch up, y'all. Appreciate you for dropping those links, serious, baby. Working hard in these damn waves, baby. Now, see, early morning, these waves are calm now. But if it was early morning, you don't know what you could possibly take on. So just think about that, too. I really need to get back to this real quick. Some of y'all need to hear this shit. You done been drinking too much. You done been doing whatever too much. Before you end up losing yourself in the matrix, check yourself. There is a stop button you should have. Dead serious, you should have a stop button. Like if you know you too drunk, prime example, it is about to be 95 degrees today. It's already in the 90s. The sun wasn't over here before I started the live, and now look where we at. So, you know, it goes to show you, if you're gonna be out and about doing whatever, don't involve the kids, number one, and don't put yourself in a risky position where you can end up being locked up or worse. And I really need to speak to those ones who might just be slightly irresponsible. You know, again, learn to follow what seems right. Come on now. You know, that's what I'm saying. There's always possibilities. Did I hit the like button? I don't think so. Did you hit the like button, Just Jay? Nah, I know you did. You know, but you gotta think about that. It's levels to this shit, for real. You know, and it's sad that some of y'all thinking beyond a low level. It is low level if you gotta sit here and encourage young ones, young boys and girls. I don't care. To be wrapped up in adult type of situations before they time. Or putting them in a situation where they might possibly not come back home. You have to think about that, man. At what point do you have some form of logic and say, nah, this ain't it? Like I said, they don't want to respect the ones who are doing something, and they don't want to respect the ones who ain't doing shit. Because again, we ain't together. See, at least back in the day, the ones that knew what they was going to do with their life, they didn't try to influence nobody. And the ones that did, we didn't rock with them. We didn't respect that shit because, again, that's nothing to respect. So if you're willing to give somebody else's child something that they ain't supposed to have, what else would you do, even when it comes down to yours? That's a question you need to ask. Come on now. Yep, we almost had a man down. But I ain't gonna lie to you. I think the next live, don't worry. If I do decide to do this again, I'm gonna have the tripod ready, son. Y'all gonna see your boy go act a fool. You know, but again, it's something to think about. How could you look yourself in the eye as any form of an adult, knowing you doing something that stands against the grain, especially if it wasn't done to you? It's crazy, man. Yeah, you gotta be careful on that, sis, with a lot of things. Just Jay, I'm gonna definitely check this replay. But yeah, you know, some good advice being given right there, you know. But you still continue to keep, you know, pushing forward and do what's necessary. You know, whatever works for you, you keep doing it. You know, as long as you standing on what you standing on, you good. Love, baby, what's going on? Marlene, you better not be buffering. Fine, I'll get in the water a little bit, just a little bit. But you know. Pray for me, y'all. Pray for me. Nah, I'm gonna definitely give me a tripod though. And don't worry. Probably the next live will be the next time I'm at this. And don't worry, you're gonna see me do a whole bunch of shit. A whole bunch. Well, this is how deep I'm going right now. Oh, okay. Sinkhole right here. See? Look. That right there would have been a danger right there. Especially in the nighttime. So I'm giving some real safety advice too for those who gonna be out here. Don't worry, I'm gonna make sure that the next time I do a beach live. But I ain't gonna lie to you, even with that I just said right now, there's certain spots where you could tell there's a deep sink right there. Oh, it broke. Everything broke. There's certain spots that if you're not careful, especially if you decide you want to be out here in the night, you could get caught up. And just as quick as that could happen, it'll be over for you. So be wise in your decision making for the rest of the summer. Whether you near a beach, pool, whatever. You're gonna do what you're gonna do it in moderation. I can't tell you how to live, man. I can give you some good advice, like I said. Oh no, I'm just, love, baby, you already know what it is. But you know, I tell people, yeah, Marlene, we get those in certain spots. Not all of it, but this is a long stretch of beach. I'm not gonna lie. But in certain spots you have to be careful for. So I'm speaking again for those who need to hear that. They're gonna be out here doing whatever. Please do not be a victim of circumstance. And see, the one thing that they used to do was jump off this pier wild crazy, especially towards the deep end. You can't take that risk. You really can't. It's not too many, but you still gotta be careful, because think about it, in the nighttime, you not careful, you could roll your ankle up. You can end up putting yourself in real serious danger. And if you're not a good swimmer, fuck out of here. You party overdone. Straight up. That's why I was glad my mom, may she rest in peace, told me a lot about the good swimming. Trust me. I would be floating with y'all, but I ain't trying to mess up my phone. DMW, what's going on, man? You all ready, my guy? Got to. It's getting crucial out here. Now, see, like I said, in certain spots, like where I was just at, a prime example of you can mess around and, well, no, let me say this the right way. Fuck around and find out. And not make it home. Because we done had a lot of casualties out here. For real. You know? You have to be careful because you never know what could happen. Prime example is some of y'all that have at least that common sense to say, I'm not going to be doing too much the way I put myself in danger. I give some of y'all that credit. Some of y'all, once y'all done got fried and died and laid to the side, y'all ain't thinking about no water. But for the ones that are thinking about getting back in the water, doing whatever, I'm speaking on that level too, because there's some of y'all that are playing around with your lives, especially under intoxication. Be careful. I don't care if you decide you're going to get drunk as a skunk. The one thing again you should remember, should be no young ones around you. You shouldn't be enticing them. And again, know when to stop, especially when you know you're doing too much. For real, when you know you're doing too much, you gotta chill out. That's something that you really gotta think about. See, prime example again. Mess around, do something, hit one of these little rocks right here. You know, like I said, you gotta think about it. You know? That level. But again, it's messed up when you doing a little bit of everything that shouldn't be done. Like I said, use some common sense from now on. I'm different, man. That's what I'm saying, man. No doubt, bro, you already. I definitely catch some of your lives, bro, because I ain't been catching too much of nothing. Cutthroat, what's going on, my guy? Nah, but I'm saying, y'all, gotta think about that. Why would you put yourself in that position? Why would you sit back and try to entice somebody that's underage to do things that are not of the nature? Things that were frowned upon back in the day. Again, you gotta have some form of checks and balances. Again, kids shouldn't be talking to you like they your peers. They talking to you like, you know, like there's things to think about. They shouldn't be out here doing the shit that they don't. But I'm saying, what example or what message do we really present? Gotta think about that, for real. Uncle Ralph, what's going on, my guy? Oh, Henny, what's going on? See y'all up in here, man. If I missed anybody, my bad, y'all. That's crazy, Marlene. Yo, you know we gotta do something, man. Gotta be on this be on that good wave today. See, I'm being as real as possible, but we still gonna have a little bit of fun. Hey, we in a fun spot. You know, you gotta think about it. What kind of shit you doing? You know, what are you setting as far as the boundaries, you know, and the real concerns? You can't claim, again, that you even love your own to a degree, and some of y'all need to hear this message. You can't claim you love your own if you're willing to try to damage and destroy somebody else's. Come on now. It's common sense to know, even if children are going to be around other folks, make sure these folks are setting the right examples. Point blank period, you know? No doubt serious, baby. Oh, wait. Hold on. Okay, I'm catching up with everybody. But you gotta be serious about that. Even if you plan on having your young ones around other folks, adults, whatever the case is, there should be boundaries and limits. Like I said, there was things that my mom's and her friends and them, I would never know they was doing. And it wasn't nothing too crazy. But I wouldn't know it because, again, I wasn't around it. A child really stood in the child's place. Again, it was morals and codes with that. And when you did find out, it was usually throughout the story you wasn't expecting. So let's try this again. It's about common sense and decency, for real. And as I've seen, it's not a lot of common sense I see. It's sad to say it that way too. It could be a lot better. Because again, it should never get to a point where the children are trying to do adult things and being around adults doing it. Some of y'all think it is cool to sit here and say, I'm gonna puff something with my kid, or I'm gonna puff something with the neighbor's kid. No. Supposed to have an adult mindset, right? And the goal is, again, to make sure you doing what's necessary, again, to preserve those around you, even if you ain't gonna preserve yourself. Come on now. I think it's a damn shame though. When you say something that's logical, people want to get emotional. Like again, some of y'all might not agree with me. It's all good. You know, like I said, I always like to have the meeting of the minds. Because the meeting of the minds at some point will at least get us to somewhere where it's more comfortable. We ain't got to worry about as much, you know. And what we do worry about, we just use that as a life lesson. You know? OG Bobby, what's going on, my guy? Nah, you need boundaries, because again, why would I sit here and, even if you want to be around me, you ain't got to worry about your child, no, none of that shit. You ain't got to worry about that. Because again, they ain't around me. I'll be far away as possible. And I still got that mindset to today. I thought about it because it wasn't done around me. Like, maybe I'm different, you know. But you know, again, it's certain things that really need to start getting back in place. Because again, that could have been a dangerous situation last night. Like I said, there's no way I'm hearing a kid that's 10 or 11 talking about, yo, pass the split, girl, yo, roll up. What you mean roll up? How about you read a book? How about you try to better yourself? That's what I'm saying. Where is the motivation at? And it seems like that motivation thing is out the window. It's me, fuck everything. If it ain't mine, fuck it. But then what example are you setting for yours if you're not doing what's necessary? It's real raps, man. My daughter 22, soon to be 23. Nah, I mean, I'm just saying, it was shit. You know, it was just boundaries that was set. And even if certain people did find out you was doing something, they still wasn't, you're not going to be around me. You better go be amongst your peers, if that's the case. But again, that's not the example that should be set. And I know there's some situations that's different because we know some people are coming from different scenarios. But it doesn't matter what the scenario is. We should have enough common sense and decency to, again, push the envelope. We need to. Bring back that integrity we once had. Again, when you're an adult, you do what you want to do. But when you got kids around you, or kids could be around you in the vicinity, do a little bit better. Like there's some of y'all grown ass women. Like I said the other day, it's like you out here, you dressed a certain way, and then you making yourself obvious. Now I'm speaking on this level too. And some of y'all fellas is putting yourselves in dangerous positions. I spoke about this last time, respect. And I'm switching it up now. Now there's some of y'all right now that's putting yourselves in position. You know, again, have some decency about yourself. There should be no reason why you have dress and you out here busting it over and twerking in front of kids. And even in front of your own kids. Fellas, y'all sitting here, some of y'all are sitting here and they're just enticing that shit. That wasn't a thing back in the day. You be damned if anything was going on back in the day around the kids. Not, man, listen, whatever happened, they wasn't around. Straight up. You know, again, you live your life, man. Facts, DMW. You know what I'm saying? It's just common sense. If I got your kids with me, prime example, you think they gonna be enticed to do anything outside of just have fun on this damn motherfucker? The most I would have to worry about is trying to make sure you don't put yourself in a position, especially if you ain't a good swimmer. Because then now I gotta definitely come out. Because in certain spots, it's lifeguards out, but there's other spots, when there's no lifeguards on, you can only go but so far. And you have to respect that. Point blank. Like I said, there should be no reason why y'all making illicit videos that shouldn't even be made. You know, like it's like have some common sense, man. And you gotta think about it. We in the age now where this camera's damn near everywhere. You all being recorded, whether you believe that or not. You know? Some of y'all trying to live your second childhood. It's not working. You're still getting the same results now. Kids getting even more disrespectful. They know about shit they ain't supposed to be knowing about. And then some of y'all wonder, yo, how this little nigga or how this little girl know that shit? Because y'all been talking and discussing about shit in front of them. That used to be a thing too. You never knew nothing because even if you was around, your parents, uncles, aunts, they wasn't discussing a lot of shit around you, and you knew that. It wasn't saying too much. So, something to think about. You know, it's just we lost that code of honor. And that was a code of honor. Keeping everything under wraps the way we were supposed to. Making sure that, you know, your kid didn't get influenced the wrong way. Especially when they're not an adult yet. You know? That's what I'm saying. Just have that decency, man. Again, you want to destroy yours? Cool. Don't destroy nobody else's. And again, y'all wonder why some of these ones be crash outs or why they don't get as far as they should get. Because you ain't giving them no opportunity. Prime example, if, and I'm going to switch this up a little bit. If you see these young ones who are trying to be entrepreneurs, who are trying to do something that's going to benefit, you know, why not try to stand behind it? Especially if they're being consistent with it. That's what I'm saying. We're supposed to be elevating the youth on all different levels. It doesn't matter what your level of expertise is, you are supposed to help, one way or another. Again, the village was the village. It's like the village split up and just said, forget it. We'll come back and unite when it's time to. Let everything run loose. Can't do that. Your kids shouldn't be cursing around adults, just like the adults shouldn't be cursing around kids. And I mean just on a chill level like that, nah. Again, set boundaries, man. Miss Patty, baby! You already know if y'all just tuned in, hit the like button. And if y'all new to the channel, like, share, comment, and subscribe. Like I said, just had to come do this little quick live real quick. Y'all speak to the people. Again, for some of you young men and women out there, it's time for y'all to really start wisening up. Again, you want to mess up your own, you want to do whatever, that's on you. But don't let the ones behind you suffer and be the ones getting the short end of the stick. You know, when y'all don't try to encourage these young ones to do something greater with themselves, or try to be a part of their process, especially if they're being legit, you do stag their growth, stunt their growth to some degree. Or you put that doubt in their mind that they should never have. Because if they determined to do it, nothing should stop them. But again, it's about the actual support. You got some young ones that are trying to do little food ventures, so on and so forth. If they serious about the craft, if they serious about trying to make something work, then why not get behind it? Prince, what's going on, my guy? See you up in here. Nah, and it's crazy, and it shouldn't be that way. It really shouldn't be that way. My fault. I'm catching up with the chat to a degree and trying to avoid dropping my phone. Yeah. But yeah, you know, it's just something you should really think about. Because if you're willing to do that, that means you don't care about what's being done to yours. And that's why I said it was morals, integrity, and common sense back in the day. And even standards. My child ain't gonna hear nothing about nothing I did, because guess what? I'm not presenting it. If it is not needed to be presented. Why? Because again, there's boundaries. I come from that era. You know? I encourage your kid to do something better before they try to do something that's considered negative. You won't catch me putting a blunt in your kid's mouth. You won't catch me putting no beer, no pitting, none of that shit in their mouth. At least me, I don't know about, you know, like I said, I know there's some people who ain't rocking with it. And y'all get the commends right now, because again, it's just common sense. Why would you do it? Now, what if these kids was younger than the age I just said? You know, it's like, come on now. Have some decency, man. But I always say this too, if you're willing to sit there and do that, then guess what? When something far worse does happen to your children, you can't point no fingers. You got to look at yourself. Come on, man. You already know where I'm at, man. I'm on that good old beach. You know, need some good old inspiration and vibes. Because this was lingering around in my mind last night, but I said, you know what? I'll wait till the morning. Because it's needed right now. It's definitely needed. You know, at some point, we got to stop passing the buck. At some point, we got to realize that, again, standards and the principles are the most important thing. Start encouraging them to do something more positive. Stop encouraging all the madness. Stop trying to suck them up into that vacuum cleaner of destruction, for real. Yeah, it is for right now. But I know at a certain point it might get a little too crowded. I'm glad I didn't walk down the other way. We wasn't going to be doing that. But yeah, you know, just think about it. Anybody with a sense of mind will tell you know, things are never going to prosper if you don't push the right type of motivation and attitude. And like I said, if they are trying to do something, whether it's food, clothing, whatever it is, stocks, you know, learn about stock market trades, all that other thing, you know, whatever it is that could be something for them, you always try to push that positive reinforcement and motivation, even when nobody else will. And I think that's the one thing to remember. These children, regardless of what, all they need is just a little attention, a little guidance. There are some who, sadly to say, will never get that opportunity. And we know for what reasons, you know. Shanita, baby, who else popped up in here? You know, I think that's important. You know, push that beacon of hope. Let them know. You know, we got you. You know, that's the things we should be pushing. Now I know, yo, go to the store, go get some cola. Yo, you want some of this liquor? Yo, you want some of this? Alright. Come on now. Where are we going now? And we wonder why some of the things are taking place the way it's taking place. We know some of it has already been a cycle that's been going on for generations. But in certain areas, we should have been broken these chains by now. Get to a better spot. For real. I see you on the boogie board. Yeah. Ain't no boogie boarding over here. Yeah, I don't know, not today. But yeah, you know, I think that's important to remember. You know, respect over everything. So you gotta have a decent respect for yourself. Have that respect for those coming behind you. You know, show them that, look, there's more to life than just doing these simple things. You know, if you want greater results, you gotta feed it to them. And not force feed it, but make sure they're getting the right amount. So they'll be full off of that, you know, wisdom that you bestowed upon them, you know, and they can gain some more knowledge. They can also gain more confidence. This way it won't be no, you know what, I quit. I'm not doing this no more. See, when you get to a point of just not giving them what they're supposed to have, hope, determination, and grit, sets the wrong tone. You know, and again, you want to be the example, not be an example, you know? Some of y'all remember me saying that a while back. It's the truth. Yeah, it's the truth. My bad, y'all. I'm trying to see how far I am going to go, but, you know, yeah. Let's get crazy real quick. Let's see how far I'm going to go. Let's see how far I'm going to go. We need that, though. You know, if we respecting ourselves, or we claim to respect ourselves, then we should respect the old tradition. I know some old traditions some people ain't with, but when it came down to, again, trying to set the balance, you had to do what you had to do. Like I said, these are things that nobody knew about, because guess what? They knew how to keep it under wraps. Again, when you are an adult, you know, you do what you want to do. I'm not saying you shouldn't live your life. But when you do have young ones around you, doesn't matter if they're yours or not, you should want to set a greater tone for them. You know, and push that encouragement. Let's see how far I'm going to go. I don't think I'm going to go that far. See? There we go. There goes one. Let's see where the other one is at. You know, and I'm being honest with you. You know, at certain points, you know, this is how we can change and start doing what's better for all the right reasons. And some of y'all that cry and mope about certain resources being gone, but you can be a part of either bringing that back or starting something better. It depends on what you want to give them. You know, you gotta come on in and you gotta definitely let it be known, like, you know, these type of talks are needed. Because again, what kind of balance are you going to set for them? They should have a general balance. Yes, they should have their fun. Yes, they are supposed to, you know, socialize and just be a part of to a degree. But there's boundaries and levels to that. And if you're not going to place the right boundaries, then guess what? Expect certain things to not be as dandy as they should be. You have to have a balance when you're doing that, you know. Appreciate you, Miss Patty, baby. But yeah, you know, I think about that. That shit is crazy. You know, again, the thing. Oh, well, I'm not going to encourage them to do this. I'm going to encourage them to do that. I'm going to encourage them to be thieves. Like, I've seen some people do that. I've seen some adults do that crazy shit. Got young ones with you trying to be a part of the defense, stealing shit. I ain't never no times got this damn hard. Because again, you starting to add them into things that was frowned upon. Period. Putting them in danger. Putting them in the wrong scenario. And then again, how are you going to feel when you end up being a form of that person's destruction and downfall? You gotta think about that. How can you think that's going to be a smooth transition when it's not? I'm definitely about to be careful because I'm about to get up out of here in a little bit. I just wanted to have this quick conversation with y'all. But I did want to ask that. And like I said, I might chop up on this conversation. At least on that aspect. How would you adults feel, especially you parents out there? And I'm probably just drop the link and, we can have this conversation. Now, how would you parents and guardians feel if you left your kids or you leaving kids around other adults and they getting fed all the wrong type of stuff to do? Just a logical question. Like I said, I'm gonna drop that link too. We go at the top. See, that's the thing. There's certain things I'm gonna say that you might agree on. Certain things you might have a different view or aspect. I'm all for it. I'm all for those talks. Again, those talks will bring back what we are losing right now. And on the morality code. And for those again who might be out, oh shoot, I forgot about my Gatorade. Give me a second, y'all. Give me 1 second. Hold on. I definitely forgot about my damn Gatorade, son. Nah, just let's keep it real. At some point, gotta definitely start showing a little bit better. You have to. Because again, if we expect some of these ones to actually be something great or be something in their life, again, you gotta feed them the encouragement. Why feed them the nonsense for real? That cycle of destruction should break. Because again, some of y'all have to remember, if you're willing to do those type of things, you could put them in a serious position to where, again, they never come back. They can end up losing. And again, can't overlook that. Because it could be your irrash decision that could cost that child their life overall. And how would you be able to bounce back from that? Like prime example is common sense not to get yourself wasted. Now I'm gonna speak to the adults real quick. Don't get yourself too wasted and then put yourself in a position where you drown. And I lost too many people like that. We lost kids like this too. Kids that wasn't a part of the nonsense losing their lives just because of situations like this. You're playing around in certain positions. Not looking good at all. My bad, y'all. Hold on. Nah, you good. You good. Yeah. Oh, don't worry, y'all be safe out here. Listen, I'm about to get the hell up out of here soon. I've been here long enough. But no, I had to have this conversation with y'all. Because again, it's just important to think about that. It's important for you to think about that. What aspects do we really want to see? Do we want to continue in the consistent cycle of poison and destruction amongst us, all we gonna get together. You know, again, show a little bit more. Time to create that aspect for real. And for some of y'all think that it is cool to encourage these young ones with the wrong type of knowledge or even the wrong type of drugs or the wrong type of overall thinking and standpoint, you messing them up critically. Like prime example, don't lie to them, be truthful with them. If you want them to be truthful with you, you gotta be truthful with them. You have to. And when I mean truthful, I mean when there are certain things that they really want to know about and you know you have the full knowledge on, tell them the truth. Prime example, if they did get into a certain scenario and you say I can get you out of it, stick to your principles and your words. If you can get them out of it. But then again, in some instances, if they're going to continue to go down a certain path, they have to learn the lesson. Alright, that's what I'm saying. It's just conversations like this we definitely going to have to start having more of. So, I do appreciate everybody that is tuning in right now. It's something that just needed to be said today, for real. In order for the generation not to be a complete failure, we got to have the right ones who are going to be able to reach out. I'm sorry. In some degrees, I'm not believing that Gen Z is going to be the end of it all. Because trust me, we've come too far. And even if we are at the last letter, guess what? We're supposed to do every bit of measurement, every bit of careful calculation to try to make sure we at least destroy the things right now that are making some of these ones a complete failure or a complete crash out. It's supposed to breed success and breathe success. Yeah, you're going to have your little moments where you fail, but guess what? You learn from them failures, and then you keep moving forward. And this is something that needed to be said, for real. Monique, baby. One second, y'all. No, I ain't in no boat. Mo, I ain't in no boat. I feel like it to a degree. Oh, serious. Come on, let's see how far we're gonna go. Come on. Come on. Pray for me, y'all. Pray for me. Pray for me. Hold on. Pray for me. It got cold again. But yeah, it's just something to think about. Why would you want to be the one pushing the destruction when you could be pushing the progression? It's like it's key critical situations that we need to really start reevaluating. Like I said, we in the influx right now. If you want to be technical, look at the world around us. There's a lot of things that are changing, and guess what? It shouldn't be this bad. Like I said, there should be boundaries and restrictions set. Again, stop having these young ones around you and stop trying to encourage them on the wrong things. Some of y'all need to hear this message. Because some of y'all be the same ones that cry and move. There ain't nobody going to do this when it comes to moms. Or, oh, no, I'll be there with somebody. But then you're sitting there doing it with somebody else. That don't make sense. Like I said, don't say you love yours and then you're not trying to do for yours the way you're supposed to. Be responsible, for real. Come on, Sirius, we're gonna fall. We're gonna try to go far. No more sinkholes, no more sinkholes. Pray for me, y'all. Pray for me. Pray for me. Nah, it's needed. Okay, it's cold again. It's cold again. Like, look at the sun, y'all. Look at this shit. It just came over here. It's hotter than Tallahassee breath out here. It's all right. It's all right. Serious, don't laugh and encourage my madness, please. You know I'm on one. You know I'm on one. No, what I'm saying. You know, why would you put yourself at risk and put yours and somebody else's at risk? Because again, you want to live that second childhood so bad. Again, at certain points in time, kids should have a curfew. Now again, unless you're doing a family outing thing, cool. But at a certain time, you should want to. Especially if you have to travel by transportation. And in some areas, we already know buses and trains shut down at certain times. Out here, nah, you know, we the city that never sleeps. But in the same token, if you know you're gonna be traveling far and you don't have a car or some form of Uber ride, you would want to try to get yourself going back to where you need to get to before time. Because again, you gotta think about it. You got kids with you. What's the purpose? Again, especially when they're under the age of 18, that's dangerous. Because anything can happen in the nighttime. You know this. Anything can happen dead late in the evening. Don't put yourself and your family at risk because you don't want to go home. Don't put yourself and family at risk because you want to be out all night being lit. I'm speaking to those that need to hear. Celebrate when you celebrate, you do what you do. But again, the children, the young ones, should not be around you. Again, the goal is to set the example, you know, and stand firm on it. Serious, you was doing too much laughing. Yeah, let's see how far we're gonna go again. Come on, let's try this again. Come on, y'all, pray for me. This fatty don't laugh neither. I know. Oh, there go one. See, like even on this instance, prime example. We done had some storms that hit here, and some of these areas, at least along the beach, is not where they should be at. There should be no reason why I just stepped into a sinkhole already, and I ain't even get past the shoreline like that. Yeah, but again, when you experience, when you know what's what, you know, you pretty much can avoid all the wrong dangers. But again, for some of y'all that think you're gonna be out here late, because I did speak about that too. You're gonna be out here late, guess what? Better be careful. You dived in? Oh shoot. I don't know. I can't jump in the water with this one. Don't worry, I'll invest in one of them waterproof or them. Yeah, I'm gonna invest in that at some point. Don't worry, we gonna get some GoPro action at some point. But again, like prime example, right here where I'm at. There's no way it's that much of a deep sink right here. I mean, everything else is somewhat leveled out. So you have to be careful. You know, and that's what I'm saying. If some of y'all that want to play risk with your life, again, if you're intoxicated, don't think about it. Don't put yourself in danger. And definitely don't put the kids around you in danger. The one thing you should remember is that you shouldn't be that intoxicated the way you're not paying attention. Because even if your kids don't suffer a fate like this by water, your kid can suffer too. Like I said, there are dangers out here. They can end up getting away from you and being somewhere that they shouldn't be at. Again, it's about checks and balances, you know. You already know, serious, baby. I appreciate you. Oh, you already know. Like I said, when you experienced in this, like I said, I can pretty much tell you where some of the sinkholes are. And it's not, again, too many crazy ones. It depends on where at on this long stretch of beach you at. And I'm speaking for my people in the city though. Be careful, for real. If you want to be out on any beach. Real spill, baby. What's going on? I mean, come on now. Like prime example, you gonna see it. You gonna see it. Now watch that. Watch this little sink right here. See, watch this. Oh, see, look, could have dropped my phone. Oh, it's peaceful. It's peaceful. Now it's starting to feel like a fake sun out here. I don't know. But if you are out and about, especially in the heat, doesn't matter if you're on the streets or on the beach, at the pool, by a school, make sure you ain't playing the fool. Make sure you keeping yourself some water, keeping yourself hydrated, coconut water, all of that. Gatorade, all of that. You do a little something, keep yourself hydrated. All that soda, liquor, all that shit, it's too hot for it today. Be honest with you. Oh, you already know, serious baby. I always gotta play it safe. Again, that's why I'm glad my mom taught me what she taught me when I was young. Taught me how to swim, doggy paddle, float, all of that. Don't worry, like I said, when I get that GoPro, I'm gonna set that shit up. The next live I do try to do, you're gonna be like, nah, he too far out there. What are you doing? What are you doing? But I'm good. But again, for some that need to hear it, it's good that you want to enjoy your life and do whatever cool. But don't entice these young ones that's with you or around you. Keep certain things under wraps. When the kids is going, you do what you're going to do. You're going to drink, smoke, snort, do whatever. I don't care. I can't tell you how to live your life. The only thing I can tell you, or the only thing I can give you advice on, is again just setting that standard boundary, knowing what and what not to do around it. And like I said earlier, there are some things that you're gonna have to pay the consequences on at some point, because it comes back around like a boomerang, for real. Miss Patty, come on now. You know I'm say, baby. Come on, y'all know I'm good. Come on now. Let me see how far I'm gonna go again. Let me see how far my legs gonna take me. It's cold again. Wait, it's cold in this spot, but it's warm over here. Wait a minute. There you go. Alright, it's good. Getting this water. And for some that need it, that salt water definitely good for your body. You got little wounds, heals, so on and so forth. Because I was reading up on certain things. Salt water definitely good. Just like the oatmeal, good. Like I said, there's some things you just gotta learn. And during the summer, especially this peak of the summer when it's still this heat wave, there's some things you gotta chill out on. I'm speaking to those who need to hear it. If you're out here drinking wild crazy, you better have you some water for real, or something on the side that's gonna keep you hydrated and keep you up. Don't be out here throwing up. Like last night, I seen a few people throwing up, but I know what it was. It was when you start smelling all the alcohol coming out their pores, you know what it was. Don't eat no greasy foods, especially if you're drinking heavy liquor. I'm not enticing nothing. I'm just telling you what it is. Don't worry, Miss Patty. Don't worry, y'all. I'm good. You'll know when I'm bad. Well, I won't be bad because I know this part. I know too much of this. Okay, another sinkhole. What the hell did I just step on? It felt up. And I forgot at a certain point, I'm going to definitely have this tripod ready because I already know. In a certain part during the season, we start getting them jellyfishes. I ain't with it. So, I do all of my beaching between June and July. So, when you catch me out here, you catch me out here. Once near August comes, won't be as much. You can't even see them little white suckers, so nope. I got on everything I need to have on. Come on now. And sometimes the water shoes will hold you down, so don't worry. I'm good. I just don't know why one part of the water is cold and one part is too warm. Maybe the sun got something to do with it. Oh, no. But yeah, if you're going to be out and about, and then especially for some that need to hear it, make sure you got your sunscreen on in case you're going to be out and about. Again, just get out and do something. Whether it's the beach, the pool, sprinklers, whatever. Like I said, to some degree, we used to have a standard of, even if we was going to have the kids around us, we made sure they was active, they had something to do, we was watching them. And even if we was doing what we was doing, guess what? We was still being responsible. And we wasn't setting an example. We was putting certain things out in front of them. We would hide certain things because we didn't want them to see what we was doing. nowadays we got to a point now, it's like we don't care. We'll show them anything. And again, it's about pushing that positivity more than anything. You know? That's all I can say. Yeah. Today was one of those much needed lives for real. You know, again, be safe in your endeavors and whatever you do. You know, it's needed. Let's see how far we go. Exactly, serious. You have to, especially for those who need it, because some of y'all been looking sunburnt. I ain't gonna lie to you. You know, it's like if you know you're gonna be out for hours on end, shoot, do that at least. You know, make sure you good. And if you have to be under shade, you gotta make sure you got an umbrella, some form of towel, head wrap, something. Keep the sun off. But yeah, you know. Now I hear you, Spill. But shoot, out here, most we usually gonna get, water start looking a little whatever, might get some good rain. I don't know, we might get a tropical storm, you never know. But shoot, you know, again, just be safe and whatever it is you're doing. I don't care what beach you're on and what state, what part of the world. Just be safe. You know, and again, don't encourage all the wrong shit, especially when you had the kids around you. Last night I was really disgusted because of that. I'm hearing these kids being funny, and then again, it could have been serious. Oh, pass the weed, puff, puff, pass. Like I said, it's things like that that they shouldn't be around. You know, encourage something better, even when you with them. You decide you want to do whatever afterwards, hey, that's on you. You grown, right? Like I said, place those careful boundaries where you need to place them at. That's all. And that is true. You know, it's like I said, last night you had people throwing up. Some of these people, they throwing up food that they shouldn't have been eating because, you know, like I said, any type of heavy grease, I don't care if it is pizza, it's still greasy at the end of the day. You got grease sitting on top of liquor, sitting on top of whatever. What you think gonna happen? And again, I would say that for anybody, even when it comes down to their children or the people that might be around them. The young ones, if they throwing up crazy, make sure they drinking enough water. You know, and if you're gonna give them a ginger ale, make sure there ain't no ice in it. You know, again, you want to make sure everything is everything. Like I said, you know, you're grown up, you live your life, you do what you're gonna do. You should already know what to do. You know, but it's just something, again, you gotta place boundaries on. You know, get back to that golden rule, you know. You already know how we gotta do it, serious, baby. Base all the skin right here. Doom, what's going on, my guy? Yeah, yes, yes. Let's see how far I'm gonna go. Let's see how far I'm gonna go. I don't think I'm gonna go but so far. Oh! Okay. Yes. 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 Oh, there we go. I needed that. Make sure I don't drink going around all that water. Nah, but you got people who will. And that's the crazy part. Again, you want to be intoxicated, right? But you not paying attention to the young ones around you, even if they not yours. Just have a decency set about you. Like I said last night, that shit didn't make no sense. You got some women out here doing all forms of videos, and then you got kids around you, kids with you. Some of y'all, yeah, listen, y'all gotta have I'm gonna say that on both ends, fellas too, because some of y'all was enticing the shit. You're gonna end up getting yourself into circumstances and fights for what? Because somebody don't want to respect you and respect themselves too? Telling you. Yeah, man, you already. And I appreciate you for that post, my guy. Yeah, man. Y'all know I'd have probably, this would have been early in the day, I'd have had Simba ass in this water. R.I.P. King Simba, man. Trust me, he'd have been in this water by now. You know, that's what I'm saying. as adults, we do have a responsibility regardless, and we got to start standing on our principles. I don't care if it's my own or anybody else's. There's just some things I'm not going to be doing. Being drunk and high around them all day and then even encouraging them to do so, nah, I ain't doing that. I don't care if your kid do smoke and you know they smoke. You won't be smoking with me, won't be drinking with me. And that's the mindset that some of y'all should have. Come on then. At what point, again, do we start coming together and uniting on the right front? Exactly. You know, you just gotta be careful. And like I said, in certain spots, you just gotta be careful not to get caught in no rip current, no sinkholes, or again, know how far you going. Yeah, because you have some expert swimmers who have almost taken the long plunge. But you gotta be careful out here. You know, and again, set the standards. At a certain time, even if you are going to be out and about with the young ones, they should be home at a certain time. I granted it's summer, but they should be home at a certain time, especially out here, because you never know what the hell could happen. It could be a situation, especially if you are, again, using transportation. You ain't got no Uber, you ain't got no car, you ain't got no other forms to get home, and you have to be on that train. You better be wise and be safe. Again, at a certain time, you should be trying to get yourself together, pack up, and go home. See, and that was the difference. Back in the day, even when we did have family outings, we wasn't out all night, not unless we was coming from somewhere out of state. And even still, we would never know. We would have, by the time we would have woke back up, we home. Shouldn't be that way. Like I said, shouldn't be the young ones out here with these older ones doing whatever. You know, you want them to be greater, you got to show them greater. And again, you know, take accountability and responsibility on your end for certain things. I think it's really crucial and important that. Because again, if we want this generation to be a little better, we got to show them better. You know, and we got to push them for anything, you know, we got to push them for anything that could possibly be a calling card. The hell, look at these little niggas. Wait, I seen one. Where the other one at? My bad, y'all. Little chunky ass birds. Well, I see one on the damn rock. But, you know, I can't zoom in. That sucker really small. But yeah, you know. Yeah, I mean, nowadays, the way it's being done is like, some people are still going by the old method, the old routine, and that's good. You know, that just goes to show there's common sense and still boundaries in those, you know, positions. But you got others that, again, not fully mature in the mind, and some of them are just trying to live their second childhood and don't care about nothing. But at some point, you got to care about something. Because you got to remember, you could end up being the one responsible for that one's downfall. And then again, how is that going to work? Oh, Lord. Let's see how deep I'm going. Oh, okay, I'm done. I think I'm done. But yeah, like I said, just wanted to have a quick talk with y'all. Oh, no. I forgot I got my lighter in my pocket. Oh, it's over. It's over. Man, I gotta buy another one. Well, I just wanted to have this quick convo with y'all. Again, gotta place ourselves in a precarious, you know, position and really get it together. No, skip that. We gotta put ourselves in a cautious position. My bad. I'm really mad. I just messed my light up. Damn, man. Don't laugh, serious. That ain't funny. Now I gotta buy another one. I thought I took everything out my pockets earlier. Apparently it did. Oh well, it happens. But yeah, just wanted to have this quick convo. Again, put ourselves in a cautious position, cautious set of mind, and try to do a little better. Try to show more than what we can show. It's time for these young ones again to get back in the natural order of things. It's time for all of us to really get back into that natural order of things. Again, don't encourage the wrong thing that could destroy their livelihood. The main thing to remember too is not a lot of them. Serious, don't laugh. That ain't funny. You still laughing at me. Yeah, but real spill. Come on now. but it's not so much as living in the old times. It's just preserving certain traditions that definitely kept everything in balance. Everything is unbalanced now. Like I said, you got kids being in the dope business and vice versa. You got young ones trying to be older ones trying to be younger. It's like, what the hell is going on? It's alright. You can laugh all you want. I'ma go buy another one. Aha, aha, aha. That's all. Lady brave out here. Brave out here. Yeah. Come on, y'all. Who gonna come in here with me? Come on. Who gonna come in this deep blue sea? Come on now. Embrace it, bask in it, inhale it. Yes. But yeah, I'm gonna definitely, chop up on this conversation again. I'd probably be tomorrow, maybe Thursday. We'll see. And again, happy Taco Tuesday. Yeah, listen, you got people on the pier right now doing just that. If they ain't crabbing, they fishing. But a lot of them like to come out in the nighttime. You'd be surprised what the hell you catch out here in the nighttime. But yeah, definitely I'm gonna have this topic of conversation again. If not, like I said, if not tomorrow, most likely Thursday. And I'm gonna have the link pinned. I'll be on the stream, y'all. Taco burritos. But I appreciate everybody that tunes in. Again, hopefully somebody did get something out of this, because, again, much needed talk. And this is one talk that we have to have. Again, we want generational change. We as the older generation have to set the example for the younger generation. At least for those who actually care. We got to set that tone. Like I said, as long as one person got the message, as long as one person understood it, that's the most important thing more than anything. Yeah, I don't be on there every day though, you know that. Shoot, I don't go live as much as I used to. Now, to be honest with you, I don't really go live as often. And when I do, you're gonna get something good. Look, I know how to maneuver in here. You know that. You know that already. Oh, and for those following me on Clapper, apologies for the weekend. I got bombarded by family, y'all. I had a house full. Lord, if you're listening, help. But I will be making an appearance this Friday, definitely. I'm just going to set up the time, and we in here. We in here like swimwear, son. But nah, I really hope somebody did get something out of this message today. Again, you got to do a little better, show a little better. That's it. Like I said, just be cautious of what you're doing and what you're saying around them, and don't entice them to do all the wrong shit. And don't entice them to be a part of your madness if that's what you plan on doing. Because you setting everybody up for the failure and the kill. Sorry to say it that way. And hopefully y'all enjoyed this view. Come on, let's go back in here one more again before I get up out of here. One more again. Okay, I don't like this. I don't like it. I like it, but I don't like it. But yeah, just need that. A good inspirational talk. Again, some of these young adults need to be inspired too to do that. Be careful and mindful of the things you do. And don't cry about it later when it backfires. I like this, but I don't like this. Yeah. Now, yeah, it's needed though. But yeah, I'm gonna definitely reach on this conversation, and the link will be pinned in case anybody want to chime in. And for those that are new to the channel or that have been recently new to the channel, I encourage you to do the same. Bring yourselves back for a good conversation. And if you feel you got something to add to it, you already know when that link is pinned, chime in. It's always good to get different views and opinions, but also different facts and, different points of knowledge the way we could. Let it be useful, And if it ain't gonna be useful for us, it should be useful for the ones behind us. Just a real wrap for the day. For those celebrating birthdays this week and this weekend, hopefully y'all keep yourselves safe. Enjoy yourselves. If you're going to be out in that heat, again, make sure you got all the right stuff with you. Because these next few days might be a little crazy, And don't laugh at me, Spill. Don't laugh at me, sis. I'm mad. Just lost a life. Yes. But yeah. And this feels good right now. Might be my new exercise. Let me walk backwards real quick. Let me walk backwards. But yeah, hopefully somebody got something out of this. I'm about to get the hell up out this sun. I think I've been out here long enough. But yeah, again, those following me on Clapper, I'll be back Friday. And yeah, we're gonna have another talk over there as well too. So for those again celebrating birthdays, another year, another blessing around the sun. Enjoy every moment of life. Keep creating those memories, but mostly keep yourself safe. Appreciate everybody that's been a part of the build, still becoming a part of the build. Yeah, we still got great topics and conversations coming. It's most needed. You already know it's Patty, baby. Anytime you get a live, that's exactly what it's gonna be. See, I don't do like some people and just push a live button just to push it. I push it because I feel there's messages that are needed. And if ain't nobody else gonna stand on it, then fuck it. I'm still gonna stand on it. And we need it. We all coming from different, surroundings. We all coming from different roads of life, cool. But there are some things we really need to start bringing back into order. It really is about that time, especially with the way the world is changing. Bad enough all aspects of life are changing, but the world around us is changing to a point where, again, it's going to be detrimental instead of progression. Definitely need that. Need to definitely have this real talk. So, like I said, when I drop that link, y'all already know. Appreciate all the shadow, the shadow babies. You already know. Shout out to the Shadow Mafia. Y'all already know what it is, too. And again, if you're out and about, please make sure you're keeping yourself safe. I'm about to get safe and go to hell in that damn cool air for the rest of the day. So, But I appreciate y'all for rocking out, though. Hopefully y'all enjoy the rest of your mornings, afternoons, evenings. And I forgot, happy hump day to everybody on the other side of the globe. I already know you future babies. Look here, I still need my lottery numbers for today, tomorrow. You already know. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. But yeah, let me get up out of here, y'all. If y'all was new to the channel, like, share, comment, and subscribe. Shout out to the replay game. Shout out to the Shadow Mafia and the Shadow Babies. Y'all know what it is, baby. For everybody that was in attendance today, y'all already know that love is love and they'll be reciprocated as such. I don't know how to be fake. All I can do is give you real. And that's all I'm going to do is give you real topics and real builds. Come on, y'all. Let's go back in one more again before I get the hell up out of here. I'm scared now. Hurry, hurry, hurry. Okay, I don't want no more. I don't want no more. I don't want no more. Serious, get off my feet. Get off my feet. Stop trying to hold me down in here. I gotta get up out of here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. All the lottery numbers we appreciate. But I appreciate you. I'm up out of here. Okay, I'm done. I'm done. I'm done. I'm done. I don't want no more smoke with the water today. No more. But y'all stay safe. Keep that third eye open. Until the next live, we out of here. Peace and blessings.